Hello everyone and welcome back to Georgia Paper Crafts. Today I am using alcohol inks on Tim Holtz Black Alcohol Ink Cardstock. I really wanted to try this out and see how it looked. I've seen a video by Jennifer McGuire and it looked fabulous. So starting out here, I'm using some of the matte Mixative from Tim Holtz. This is called Snowcap Mixative. I'm putting a heavy amount down onto the black cardstock, and then I'm also putting down some of the ink blending solution and kind of making it runny so that it kind of spreads out. Now I'm bringing in some red, and unfortunately I didn't write down exactly which red I'm using, but I believe it could be Gumball. And I'm bringing in some more pinks. I believe this could be Amethyst or Fiesta. Anyway, I'm using colors of pink and purple here from the alcohol ink line from Ranger. And like I say, putting a little bit down of each, then using the new Tim Holtz alcohol ink. I guess this is a sprayer, spreader, not sure what exactly to call it, but definitely gives your hand a workout when you're constantly pushing it. But you know, it works to move the ink around, put some air on there, and then move the ink around. So as you can see, when you're working on black cardstock, you have to have that white mixative or white to kind of help bring out the colors. Otherwise, it's just gonna, you know, the colors are just gonna go into the cardstock or sit on top of the cardstock, and you're not really gonna see it. So here I decided to bring in a little bit of one of the alloys from Tim Holtz, one of these new alloy colors, and I believe this is it's either Mind or Foundry. And again, sorry, I don't have the exact one. Sometimes when I sit down and start doing things, I don't stop to write down exactly what I'm doing as far as using the colors, and I need to get better with that. So I will definitely work on that. So once you've laid down that initial white base of the color, usually you don't have to add any more. I've found that I don't usually have to add more white. I can just add to the color that I'm putting on top of that. So here you can see I'm just kind of, you know, adding color as I see looks good, you know, trying to move it around, get things moving. I do like to cover pretty much the whole piece. So you will see me occasionally put some right on the corners, or some ink right on the corners just to help fill it in. But, you know, again, the thing about alcohol ink backgrounds is that they're always going to be different, and it's going to be, you know, it's going to be done when it's good to your eye, if you like it. So I'm going to keep working with this until I'm happy with it. So again, I bring in a little bit more color, a little bit more, you know, alcohol ink blending solution. If you don't have the alcohol ink blending solution, you could use some, you know, alcohol, just straight isopropyl alcohol. I believe it should be, I don't know if it matters the percentage or not, if it should be a 97% or greater, because I've never used it, but I do know there are crafters out there that do use just alcohol. So I'm happy with how this one looks, and I'm going to put it to the side to dry. Just giving you a close-up here of some of that alloy that I put in there. I like the way that looks. And I didn't bother to stop and clean off my my mat here, so I'm kind of working on a dirty mat, not a mat, but my glass Tim Holtz mat. I guess it's a mat. I don't know what you call it. Anyway, this time I am using alcohol inks from Pinata. So these are ones that I think I bought at Michael's, and I know you can buy them on Amazon, and probably at Simon Says Stamp. I haven't checked. Anyway, I am using their white color, which is called BLANCO, and I'm putting that down, and then I'm just bringing in some other colors. I brought in the BAJA blue. This is a passion purple. I'm going to bring in some of the alcohol inked or excuse me, the alcohol blending solution and just kind of move it around. I will say, I think that these colors are extremely vibrant. They're almost a little bit more vibrant to me than the alcohol inks from Tim Holtz. You know, I don't know if this goes for every color that comes in the Ranger line, but these colors right here that I used, I really like this piece. This is one of my favorites. So here I'm going to bring in some of the gold mixative from Pinata, and this is the rich gold. And I'm going to again use my air compressor device here to move around all the inks and just kind of move around that gold color and incorporate it into the blues and the purples and just kind of get it moving. As you can see, I'm pretty liberal with the alcohol blending ink. I don't have a problem with it going off of my piece and going onto my work mat. I do want to have a space that I'm working on that's easy to clean. And of course this alcohol, not this alcohol, but this glass mat that I'm using from Tim Holtz is very easy to clean. I just have to use some alcohol and or a baby wipe to clean it all up. So it's very easy to do. So just continuing here, kind of adding colors, again, seeing what I like, what I don't like, how I want to move the color around. Again, this is all, up to you and how you think it looks. Keep adding some, or you can take away some. You can move it around. You can do whatever looks best to your eye. So I'm pretty happy with the way this one turned out. And here's a quick up close look. Really love how those colors blended. I will of course put that off to the side too to dry. Now here I finally cleaned up my my mess, and because this is a different day, and this time I decided I wanted to work with them using the alcohol pearls. How does this look using the alcohol pearls? So you see me mixing them up here. I'm starting of course with the snow cap mixture from Tim Holtz, and then I am bringing in, let's see, oh, what color is that? I'm not even sure, but I will make sure I have it listed down below for you. Now, as you can see, you'll be able to see here the use of the pearl inks are quite a bit different. How they come out, because obviously they come with a shimmer. They have a shine to it, and it's a little bit different than, of course, the regular alcohol inks. And what I found was once I did all these, it turned out to have more of a chalky look. Doesn't mean I don't like them, but I almost felt like the other ones were more vibrant, and I like them a little bit more. But I'll let you see and see what you think. Once I'm finished with this one, of course, I'm just trying to move a little bit more of the inks around, but I'm going to eventually send it out to dry. Now, here comes another one. I'm going to use blues this time. Again, putting down the white snow cap mixative along with some alcohol blending solution. This time I'm going to use the blue colors, and I believe this is Celestial, and I think this one is Tranquil. I'm not sure, but I will double check and obviously put them out for you. Just kind of moving it around, trying to get a nice little blend of colors. I do bring in one of the alloy colors. I believe this is Foundry, and I'm just mixing all of this around. Once I'm finished, of course, I'll set this off to dry. Now, I have done a few more pieces that I will not show on screen, but I will show you the finished product. So you'll get to see all that and how I put them together with the cards. I wanted to take a quick look at the backgrounds I made using the black cardstock. So these are the ones I made using the pearl alcohol ink. So I used some of the white Ranger alcohol ink along with the pearl. And this is kind of how it came up. Almost a little chalky looking. Not bad, but still very pretty, I think. I like them, but I'll have to tell you, in my opinion, these turned out a lot more vibrant. Now, these are ones that I did using the Pinata BLANCO white alcohol ink, and then I also used some of the gold Mixative Pinata. I guess that's how you say it, Pinata alcohol Mixative, along with some of the new alcohol ink colors. And to me, gosh, look at how vibrant and beautiful that is. I really like how these turned out. Now, these have been dry for weeks now. I did this a while back, but look at just how pretty they are. I'm really in love with these. I like these too, but I'm really in love with these. So I'm going to go ahead and put these together so we can make some cards, and we'll see the different ways that we can do that. All right, so I wanted to do a quick run through of the cards that I made using the ink backgrounds that I showed you. So this first one is where I used the green pearl inked background, and I used a cover plate die. This is from Hero Arts. This is Flower Garden Fancy Die. And as you can see, it cut out this floral pattern here. And I believe I got this at Joann's, so pretty good deal for that. To further embellish it, I added some gems, some green pearls, and some rhinestones, and that's from a Simon Says Stamp Lucky Charms mix. I believe this mix came in a card kit a few, I don't want to say years, but months back. Well, it might have been a year now. So the sentiment is from the Simon Says Stamp Sending Happy Thoughts Just Because Word Mix 2 set. This is one of those sets where you can stamp all these sentiments and cut them out using one die. I have a bunch that I've already cut out, and I have them just put away for when I just want to grab a sentiment quickly. So this one says Sending Happy Thoughts, and it was heat embossed with gold embossing powder. On the inside, I just used a off-white piece of paper just to make it to where I don't have to use a white gel pen when I write a sentiment or write a note in here. So that's the first one. Moving on to the second one. Now this die is from Pinkfresh Studios, and this is the Modern Mandala die cut from them, and I cut this out of the blue turquoise colored one, and as you can see, it cut out this cute little or pretty cute, whatever you want to say, circle mandala shape, and I embellished it with some gems. These are let's see, this is a Starry Sky mix from Pretty Pink Posh. I seem to reach for this quite a bit because it has a lot of mix of blues and light blues, off-whites, and silvers. I really like this mix. So I put those around, and then I used another sentiment that I had already made and put in my stash, and this is from the Birthday Word Mix 1 set from Simon Says Stamp, and it says Birthday Hugs. And that's embossed with the platinum embossing powder from Ranger. Again, I put another white piece of cardstock on the inside for when I write my message. Now moving on to the next one. This was my favorite background. This was the background that I made using the gold from that Pinata, and I hope I'm saying that right, but I really like the way this one turned out, so I wanted to save the majority of it. So I decided I would cut down in the middle using, this is the Simon Says Stamp
small A2 size frame dies. So as you can see, what it does is I put it, well, I'm missing the one I used. Okay, anyway, I would put it down right here and it would cut it, but it also cuts a thin little border die. And so the one that was cut out of this was actually right here, and as you can see, it's right there, but I'm saving this for another project. But I went ahead and cut another one out of gold foil cardstock. I put it all together, and then I cut out of gold foil cardstock the stylized tulip die from Simon Says Stamp, which is an actually fairly large die. I cut that out of the gold cardstock along with some black, and I kind of offset it just a touch. I don't know if you could see it right there, just to help it pop a little bit off of the card. I then added a sentiment that I had previously stamped and cut out. That's another one from one of these word mix sets. Let me see which one that one is from. I'm not sure right offhand. Let's see. I have so many of them. It must be this one. No, I'm not sure where that's from. I had obviously stamped it and it was in my stash, so I'm not quite sure where that's from. I apologize, but it was stamped made using some gold embossing powder. I then adorned that with some gems, just some of those Starry Night mixed gems, and I really like how this one turned out. I put it just on a standard A2 size card base made out of heavyweight cardstock. Moving on, this one is on a gray cardstock, and I cut this blue inked background out of another Hero Arts die that I had bought from Joann's. This is the fairy window die, and I cut it out, and it has this fairy with a, leaves sitting in a tree with a butterfly and everything. And then I heat embossed the sentiment, sending fairy kisses and birthday wishes right there. I added some gems just for further embellishment here. And I ran it through, it's funny, before I added the gems, I ran it through my die cutting machine just to help flatten it out, because it was kind of, I don't know, not real flat. Well, it looks like it almost embossed a little bit. I don't know if you can see that. Very interesting. But this one, is cute. It wasn't my favorite the way it turned out, but it's not bad. So then I move on to the final four. And the final four I made very similarly because I enjoyed the way they turned out. So let me start with the purple one. The purple one, I made I got 2 cards out of this one die. So this die is from Pinkfresh Studio. This is the cover plate die. This is the ornate floral cover plate die. And so what I did was I cut it out of here, and then I took all the inner pieces and I put it on here. So in the same pattern. Then I took the frame and I put it on here. So here are all the inner portions of it, and I added some additional gems just to embellish it. And these are Pretty Pink Posh Pansy Purple gems that I used. I used another sentiment from one of the word mix sets from Simon Says Stamp, and this one is right here, Get Well Soon. And then I used Lucky to Know You here. This is also right here, Lucky to Know You. And I used a die. I believe this is from MFT here. This is a friend die, and I cut it out, and I cut it out 3 times in black, and then I cut it out once with the inked background, and I stacked them together and made more of a dimensional sentiment there. So it says, lucky to know you, friend, and get well soon. And of course, these has some gems, just like the other one. And those are also the purple pansy purple ones. And these are actually some of my favorite ones. I really like how they turn out. And of course, I put a white card on the inside just so when I go to write a sentiment, it'll be easy to do. Did the same on these, and I used the blue alcohol ink background. This time I used the sentiment, hope your day is the best ever, celebrating you, and the other one, thinking of you. And I used some gems from the Starry Sky mix set and just kind of put them around to help add some dimension. All right, so that's it for all of these cards. I made 8 cards out of those backgrounds that I made, and I can definitely make more. I just ran out of time, so I do hope that you enjoyed this and got some inspiration on using alcohol ink backgrounds on black cardstock. And let me know which one is your favorite. I'll see you next time.
Here is a final look at all of the cards, a quick up-close look at all of them. Again, thank you for stopping by. I hope you got some inspiration using alcohol inks on dark, actually black colored cardstock. And I hope to see you again in the next one. Bye.